What is up, everybody? AlphonZeus is Team Gradelock here with another episode of Team Gradelock Unlocks Week. We're going to be going over the latest Cardfight Vanguard episode, Ride 180, as well as results from our local and any more news that we have from Team Gradelock to you, our subscribers. So let's get right into it. Ride 180. Spoiler alert, you haven't seen the episode yet, please pause and close the video, go watch that episode, and then come back right here so we can discuss about it. Of course, if you don't want to do that, please click on the link in the description down below to get right to the results of our local. So here we go, Ride 180, Gateway to the Sanctuary. Now I get to see. This is probably going to be the last arc, as now this is where it all happens. This is where the end might be near. Because, conveniently, while Shingo and Naoki were talking on the street in Japan, apparently he manages to see a revelation. Apparently, when Shingo was saying, oh, I wanted to guard this room, he feels that he probably remembers who Aichi is, but maybe not. But still, it's all in the matter of fact of how in the world are they going to actually find them after the last place that they went to? The teleporters are pretty much cracked and destroyed. They're not even used anymore. And there's no way for them to even think, where can they be right now? They're probably not even on Earth. So it took some really dumb luck from Naoki to say, hey, I think I got an idea. He ends up following a butler, the same butler that he defeated early on in the season. And that might be the case because he may have just seen him while he was on that corner with Shingo. And so he followed him into this massive gamma building, and then he follows him all the way to where the entrance was. And apparently this entrance was glowing brightly with lights, and the butler disappeared. So therefore Naoki apparently found out a way, through sheer dumb luck and coincidence, how in the world they can get back into this after that really big training session that they had with Leon in the last couple of episodes. So now Naoki reports to everybody. People think he's crazy, well, Kamui at least. But at least now, Kai's like, alright, if we don't take this chance now, we probably don't know when's the next chance that's going to be. And that's good thinking on Kai because, after that one really bad defeat from Korin, it seems that everything would be lost. Now, they actually end up going to Gamma Building. And of course, Naoki leaves him there, but of course he mentions that it's kind of a maze, and he had some trouble figuring it out. But luckily, our Lord and Savior Miwa, he actually knows a little bit about navigation, if I may say. He's probably like a human GPS in that matter because that makes him really, really good. And of course, he's one of the favorites in the show, and it's kind of nice that he knows his way around, especially in a building that they likely have not even been in before. And so finally, we actually get to the entrance where everyone gets hyped because now it's, oh wow, Naoki, this is the area and everything. Oh, and Miwa's just like, yeah, lay it on me, praise me however you want. So then they finally get to the area where it looks like a gigantic version of the Cardfight area that was in the previous episode arc, or at least the previous episode when Kai faced off against Korin. They saw that, but it's giganticized. And Naoki just remembered, okay, well the last thing I remember before this, the whole place grew brightly, kind of put his hand down, and he activated pretty much a switch through tilt or encircling that little incision into the ground and matching up with the symbol. Therefore, everybody gets teleported over into Sanctuary. And then they get in and say, alright, Aichi has to be here. And then they come across not only the butler, but Raul Serra, who is pretty much the person that went up against Kamui last time. So the difference maker that we see here is that instead of Kamui going into a rematch with Raul, we actually see Naoki step up to the plate. As fiery and passionate and manly as he is, we get to see Naoki see if he can take on Raul. And of course they go right into the prison, and with, of course, before Raul kind of grilling the butler for, wow, I can't believe you let him follow you all the way to our secret hideout. And the thing is though, Raul, as pretty much any villain in a manga or any fictional series, the villain usually reveals what actually happens or what they need to do in order to get from point A, to where they're currently at, to point B, where they can be reunited with Aichi again. Now, apparently you have to defeat all 4 of the Quattro Knights in order to unlock the seals, and then you get to access Aichi, who has apparently been sealed away. Well, beat all 4 of us, and we'll see what happens. And I hope this is just the beginning of just a clean sweep that the mates are looking for, because they got their butts kicked so bad for the past 20 plus episodes this season. It got to the point where it was so stale. Well, maybe not as stale as some people like to put it, but still, it's gotten to the point where they pretty much lost almost every single match that they went up against the Quattro Knights. Of course, it's to build them up as a, competent villain. Of course, especially since the villain usually win in the early episodes of a season. Now, as we can see the match start, usual format. Ride your grade 1, ride your grade 2, get the damage in, and then we get to see, okay, now I get to the grade 3 where everything goes into place. And then we get to see a little bit of flashback learning about Mr. Sarah's history. Because apparently in South America, his family named Sarah was one of the wealthiest families in South America, told that how everything used to be fought over in a duel to the death. And apparently, Cardfight Vanguard has been longer existing before 2011, or at least before even when the Japanese meta came out. That, oh, okay, we used to card fight to solve differences. And of course, instead of duels to the death where you actually physically die, at least in card fights, it's more of a mental death in the family, is probably the best way I can put it. Now, in this case, we have people that are literally shunned, or you are dead to me, even though you're not dead. And, of course, yeah, being dead literally is pretty bad because you can't even say anything in your defense. But when you lose, especially to a family member, and then you're cast out, that type of mental stress would make you, whoa, rethink your entire life. It's silly. So, what can we think about this match? Well, we see Raul actually not playing the Musketeers of Neo Nectar. We actually see him going with the Grand Blue. And we get to see the grade 3 unit, this young pirate, and just, oh wow, Grand Blue Legion, let's go, let's go. And, of course, we usually see the normal units that we've seen. We see Samurai Spirit, we see Ruin Shade. Oh my goodness, this is pretty awesome, if I may say so myself, because you've seen all these retro Grand Blue units coming back after debuting all the way in Season 1. And coming back now. That is mind-blowing, to be honest. And I am so hyped for that. I am so happy that Grand Blue will begin the support that they deserve. But I'm not sure how much support they will have, especially considering that these units have debuted all the way back in Season 1. Then after learning a little bit about Sarah's history, and we get to see, Grand Blue's revival, renaissance, as their clan revolves around that sort of strategy, reviving units from the drop zone, although we don't get to see the Legion skill yet. But this at least sets up for hopefully Naoki actually achieving a victory, because at least we see Naoki performing the grade 3 but not performing Legion, and usually up to the case until, say, the training arc with Leon, usually the person who performs Legion second would win. Now, next episode that's setting up. I've seen the preview for it. I really hope Naoki can win, because I want to see what in the world will happen when the Quattro Knights lose. So that means they would suffer judgment, just like how the mates have suffered judgment in the past. And so I'm pretty hyped. I want to see if he's going to do that cross-ride Legion. That's going to be pretty silly, because if he does a cross-ride Legion, that means instead of a 20k Legion, it's going to bump up to a 22k Legion, which is pretty much the magic number for MLB, if anyone is actually still playing that. And what can I say? It's going to be good. I like it, and I'm looking forward to it. We haven't seen much outside of, okay, we got to see the Big Bang Knuckle Dragon, at least with the Cross-Ride Legion, where you take out 4 units at once, which is, I'm just going to retire your whole darn rear guard column, and good luck with that. Nothing really much we can do there. But at least it's setting up for a good episode. I want to see what happens, and it seems that Sarah was really starting to, feel intimidated a little bit that he actually might lose this match, because, of course, that training arc with Leon helpfully inspired all of the mates to do even better and at least perform better. So that's it for the episode breakdown. I hope you liked it. Of course, if I missed anything or you want to comment on any part of the episode, feel free to comment down below and get a conversation started. And now let's get right to the results of our local. So I do have some results from both Friday and Saturday tournaments that involve Cardfight Vanguard. Friday's tournament, we had 5 teams enter for the tag team, and we had Ian and Otto top along with Jason and Miguel. Ian used the Megasis of Oracle Think Tank, and Otto used the Brawl Kruger build in Nova Grapplers, while Jason was using the Ethics Buster of Nova Grapplers, as well as, well, at least the Beast Deities. And we had Miguel top with the Avengers of Shadow Paladins. So it's pretty good. No small feat that, Avengers would top again, along with Nova Grapplers, especially with the Brawl Krugers. They really made a pretty good impact to see how many people would actually go in and actually make those decks, especially with the wide variety of decks you can create from just one Nova Grappler extra booster set. So I'm pretty happy to see that they're making a good impact. And now let's move on to the Saturday tournament, in which we had about 14 people partake in it. And I went 2-2. First round I went up against Alex, who's running Ethics Buster. He beat me because round one I was Gradelock I think at 1, and then round game 2 he double crit me at 3 damage. Second game I went up against I think it was either Chris or I think I'm trying to remember who was the second person I went up against, but I did win against that person. And then next round I went up against Josh, who came back after a hiatus. He was playing Chaos Breaker Dragon. I lost to him. First round Gradelock at 0. Second round he hit more triggers. And then fourth round I went up against Michael. He was running the Narukami. This was the same Michael from last week that I faced. He kind of upgraded his deck a little bit with the Narukami Child deck, but I did defeat him because of the Break Ride skills. He had no perfect guard, so that contributed a lot to trying to guard, especially on the Break Ride turns. The people who topped, I know Henry topped again along with John, both are running Chaos Breaker Dragon. And then the other two were Travis and Jason, who were running Revengers. So we had 2 Chaos Breakers and 2 Revengers on the top. It just shows how much Bushiroad loves dragons, or at least how many people love dragons to use them, and would top consistently at the locals. Because Henry has been topping consistently for a while at Chaos Breaker, and Jason has been topping all week. He actually topped in the tournaments on Wednesday, went in on Friday with the tag team top there, and went on Saturday and top. So it's actually pretty cool to see the consistency in our players, and it's actually been going really well. That's it pretty much what I see for the local results. Now actually let's get onto some news, not only from Team Gradelock, but also in the Vanguard community as well. So, at least in Team Gradelock news, we tried recording the video for Domino Paris after the Vanguard tournament the other day. Unfortunately, we were 17 minutes into the video, where we noticed that not only did the video stop recording after that, we noticed that also it barely picked up some of our voices. So we had to pretty much reschedule it for a different day, as well as see what we can do in terms of investing in another camera, actual video recording equipment to help us at least, film better quality matches and film better content for our channel. Because I've noticed, especially in the past couple of weeks, how many people are subscribing to our channel, and we're really happy about that. Is that a lot of us we have our own individual schedules that we're pretty, I guess, not tangled up in, but we also have, other duties we want to pay attention to as well. I know that Henry, he's been working 3 different jobs. CK, he's been busy with his own job. Josh has been busy. Like, a lot of people have been busy. And it's hard to kind of try and get the consistency into just trying to even put up a decent schedule. I know that I've tried to do that in the past, and that hasn't really worked out, whether it's, well, some people wanted to record matches and they failed to send me, or I've managed to miss the upload date for some of the matches before. But I'm hoping that at least next week we can see what we can discuss. If Henry and CK pick up a new recording camera equipment, we'll see what happens there. And then from that point on, we'll just get better. But I guess until that time, we still have some basic stuff to work out. And hopefully next week, we'll see if we can do a take 2 on at least the meta discussion, or this Cardfight Vanguard channel spotlight for Domino Paris 21. So at least that's the news according to Team Gradelock. Now in Vanguard news, a recent photo that actually appeared in the North American Cardfight Vanguard group, or any of the other Cardfight groups on Facebook, we actually see pictures of 2 similar units that we've seen before. The 12k attacker for Gold Paladin, Fallon, as well as the 12k attacker for Link Joker, Radon. We've seen them actually reprinted as Legion Mate units. So those are actually pretty interesting units in particular taking control, because of course in a lot of the decks that have a really strong archetype, it's pretty much standard to run a lot of the 12k attackers, because it helps with cross rides like MLB in particular, even though I'm not sure who runs MLB anymore, at least in the competitive setting within the last few months. But at least the 12k attackers, they do help hit the magic numbers, especially for cross rides and cross break rides as well. For the local that we have, I noticed that a lot of Genesis trial decks that we have didn't really take off that much. But of course, with the promo for set 10, which premieres the Genesis break ride, where you pretty much you draw 1, give units 5k power, I think, Metis actually, and then you also have the Indifferent Succubus, which is valued around like $5 already, but it's probably gonna go down as we go along. And a lot of people were pretty hyped about that set, outside of the people I don't know any more than 3 that were actually interested in the Genesis trial deck, which is alright. But when Minerva drops, especially in the terms of set 14 that's going to be out in July, that's going to be pretty hype. Jewel Knights are really going to have something for you, as well as the Dauntless Reverse and Kagero. So pretty much you have really two potential decks to really be good at. But then you also have some of the dark horses that aren't really talked about that can really change the game, such as Naokami, especially with Tempest Bolt, especially with retiring the whole field, gaining plus 2k for each empty rearguard circle, and just kind of taking them by surprise. And then you also have the other dogs, which involve the Musketeers from Neo Nectar, as well as the Murakumo units, including Hyaki Revolt Reverse, and from Neo Nectar, the Maiden Venus Flytrap Reverse. So those two in particular are going to be pretty interesting to take after, and I feel that this set is probably going to introduce a whole lot more variety to this set. It doesn't seem like a lot of them will be, how do I say, impactful on the meta, because with Chaos Breaker and Revenger still running wild at our locals, it's going to be probably just more chaos into the mix. Well, minus Chaos Breaker, because there's still at least 4 or so players out of the 14 that entered that actually ran Chaos Breaker Dragon. So the prophecy only came half true, per se, because of course when Chaos Breaker premiered, all top 4 people outside of the top 8, they all ran Chaos Breaker Dragon. Can't really do much about that. But anyways, it's been a dragon type format. Of course, a lot of the members of Team Gradelock, they're trying to slowly convert over to buddy fight. Of course, yes, I've been kind of saying this for a while, but we have been trying to build up an audience. And of course, for the casual series for this week, we do have 2 different things. We do have a Cardfight Vanguard, spotlight for you, as well as a buddy fight. So I'll upload that within the week. I'll be sure to kind of let you guys know as we go along. The Facebook page, we haven't really launched that yet because we're still trying to get a feel of everybody's schedule. And then we can see what happens in terms of, actually getting a solid schedule in, something that we can post up on our Facebook page, at least somewhere along the web, so that everybody can follow along and at least say, hey, we have a new video up, or hey, this is our schedule, so be on the lookout for those videos when they do go online. And so that is it for another episode of Team Gradelock Unlocks week. I hope you guys enjoy watching these episodes as I do making them. I'm your host, AlphonZeus, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.